Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Moina Bass Fishes. My name is Jim Moina and I bass fish professionally. In this video, we're going to talk about my fourth day of practice here at the 2024 Bassmaster Open on Leech Lake in Minnesota, a lake that is an hour from my house. So it's nice to have a tournament, a big national tournament right in my own backyard. It's really cool. All right, so how did things go today? Um, I'm still committed to the smallmouth out here because when you catch them, it's a great average size. You don't catch many though. Today I caught three. That's all I caught, and it was probably my worst day on the smallmouth. Um, but I had a 2.5, one a little over three, and then one about four. So, I mean, decent fish, but only three of them, and I don't know. I might be. I just don't know. I got a half a day tomorrow to practice. We have to be off the lake at noon, so I'm going to use part of that time to check some largemouth stuff out. But obviously, you can't check out every. I mean, I'm only going to be able to check out with like one little thing, and that's about it, really. But it's something I got to do. Because I've really thrown all my eggs into the smallmouth basket, and it's tough. And I don't think I'm the only one struggling. I ran into a guy towards the end of the day today. Excuse me, and ran into him out on the lake, and another tournament competitor who was practicing, and he pretty much confirmed what I've been seeing, and that is when you do come across some smallmouth, they're really hard to get the bite. You can see them on your forward sonar. In my case, it's a Lowrance active target. I can see the fish, but getting them to bite is a whole nother matter. So he had the same sentiment, and it was late in the day when I ran into him, and he told me he only caught two that day, which would have been today. And then when I pulled the boat out, I overheard two guys talking, and the one guy was saying how impossible it was to get these things to bite. So apparently it's not just me. So that's uh, helps a little bit, anyways, because they are really they're really tough to get to bite. I mean, I was fishing Rainy Lake a week ago or whatever, and those fish were, I mean, a completely different story. I mean, you see one on, see one up there on my live scope or my Lowrance active target, and I mean, you catch just about every one of them. And then when I was fishing the St. Croix River a couple weeks ago, um, those fish were a little more finicky, definitely, but still, you could catch, a good percentage of the ones you saw. But here, holy smokes, these fish are just super wary, super finicky, and I'm not sure why that is. Um, Not sure. But the way this lake is shaping up, um, it I, just I mean, it looks like it's going to fish small to me. That's kind of what I thought all along, and I mean, you put 200 boats on this lake. I mean, every place where I found the smallmouth that I found, there's been multiple guys fishing those places every day. So it really concerns me. I mean, the smallmouth bites are so hard to get as it is, and now we've got 4.5 days of guys rotating on a lot of these spots that I'm fishing. That's just not good. It's so hard to get these fish to bite to begin with, and trying to get a limit has been, I mean, that's a real challenge. Plus, we got a 15-inch minimum size limit for this tournament. 15 inch. I don't think I've ever fished a Minnesota tournament with a 15-inch size limit. But that's kind of a good thing, though, um, because we just don't need to be hauling small fish, all over the lake here. Let's leave them. Because the way Leech Lake is, you have like isolated populations of fish that really don't interact with each other too much. At least that's my impression. And and then when they release them over in Walker Bay, they just, I mean, those fish don't know what's going on. So an adult fish can much better navigate the relocating to wherever they're going to, rather than a small fish. I think a small fish has a much greater chance of getting preyed on, or just something bad, or just seems like it's not a good idea for to be hauling 12, 13-inch fish from one side of the lake to the other here. So, all right. Yeah, what else? There was something else I wanted to say. Um, my truck. My truck. Okay. It's got 360,000 miles or 366 or whatever. Really worried about it because it's running like crap right now. Um, really concerned about this truck just dying because it's sputtering along. I mean, it'll drive and then it'll sputter and drive and then sputter, and at idle it'll shut off sometimes. Um, and this just started. I mean, I actually took my truck into a mechanic that I've been seeing for over 20 years, and it just wasn't. This was probably like 3 weeks ago. It just wasn't acting up enough. They got it to act up once, and they couldn't they couldn't get it to act up a second time. So they really couldn't figure out what was going on. So rather than throw a bunch of parts at it, um, he suggested maybe I just take it right to a Chevy dealer, and perhaps they've seen something like that. So I was gonna wait for the problem to get a bit worse, but it got worse. Because if I took it to the Chevy dealer and it's not acting up, they're not going to be able to figure it out either. So and it was very just on a rare occasion that it was acting up until this trip. Now all of a sudden it's all, I mean, it's acting up the whole time. So I'm just hoping that um, well, not only do I got to get through this tournament, but then I got to drive. I don't know. It's probably about 120 miles to the Glenwood Starbuck area of Minnesota, where Lake Minnewaska is, because I got my Champions Tour final year-end championship tournament on that lake on Tuesday. So I'll leave out of here on Saturday and uh, get there Saturday night so I can practice Sunday, and we get some time on Monday to scout around, and then the tournament's Tuesday. So I'm hoping to goodness that this truck will get me there. Oh my gosh, I don't know. We'll see. We will see. So well, so that's one thing I gotta say, and then about these smallmouths, man, I've been I and here's something. Here's another thing I've been meaning to say. I've never, and you can tell everybody's having the same problems that I'm having, and um, a couple of the other competitors you know, that I mentioned earlier, because I've never seen so many guys sitting down in their boat and re-rigging stuff in the middle of the day. I mean, we all take a few moments here and there to maybe try this or try that, or take this lure up with that lure on. But I mean, I'm doing it myself a lot, just re-rigging stuff, putting on, like with the drop shot, trying different leader lengths, different weights. And then, of course, a whole army of different types of baits to put on the hook. And none of it's clicking. I've seen so many other guys just sitting down and working on their tackle in the middle of the day. So obviously they're doing the same thing. They're trying to come up with that little combination of presentation that will generate more bites, increase your bite count. So it's just kind of interesting. Seriously, I've never seen so many guys just sit down, throw their Minn Kota on spot lock, and just sit there and re-rig a rod. And but that's what you got to do. I mean, you gotta, especially a lot of these guys have never been here, so they're trying to key in on what makes these smallies tick out here. So, all right, well, that's enough for this video. I got half a day tomorrow. Probably gonna. There's one smallmouth spot I want to look at, but then probably go largemouth fishing for the rest of the time. So I'm gonna have to set my alarm clock a little earlier because I've been getting on the water about 7. Tomorrow I'd like to make it a full, make every hour count. So that means I got to get on the water by about 6. And so I get 6 hours, 6 till noon. And hopefully I can just pick up a few secondary patterns, or maybe fall into a main pattern. Who knows? So, but I won't be setting any hooks tomorrow. That I know. I mean, very few. I'll be fishing with a lot of cut hooks tomorrow. All right. I'm tired. I'm sunburned. I'm dehydrated. I'm ornery. I'm cranky. I need some sleep. So, thanks for watching. Over and